How dangerous is it for you to sit around all day, every day? We know that this one may hit particularly close to home, Brainiac, as, well, we suddenly as a nation are all working from home. And it looks like we will be for quite some time. While there are a few pluses to this, I mean, now you don't have to change out of your PJs in the morning. It also means that we are doing a lot less walking and standing and, well, just movement in general. But can this sudden change from all that normal everyday movement, you know, walking to the bus, going up flights of stairs to your office, walking around on your lunch break, to, well, just sitting in your room in front of your computer playing Minecraft all day, be detrimental to your health, even deadly? We are finding out. So, stand up, stretch out, man, and get ready for the scoop on all the dangers of too much sitting. Today, people sit more than ever. There's no other way to put it. According to a study conducted in 2016, American adolescents are sitting more than any other demographic, with a direct correlation between time sitting and phone, TV, and computer usage. In fact, in the decade before 2016, adolescents increased their time sitting throughout the day from 7 to 8 hours. Hold on there, adults, you're not off the hook either. The same study showed that adults also increased their time sitting by an hour. They increased from 5 hours to 6 hours sitting. You may think that this is normal and maybe even not that bad for you. After all, most jobs require you to sit, whether you're in insurance, or a secretary, or a CEO, or if you sell crafts from home over the internet. Being stationary is part of the job. And now that we're working from home, forget about it. You're now plopped down in front of the computer all day. But what does this do to our daily burning of calories? Does it really affect us that much? We bet you didn't realize it. But throughout your day, the average person does quite a bit of physical activity, and it's usually all just within that usual routine of getting to work. If you're in New York City, you know what we're talking about. The 86th Street station on the Q line, walking up from the train to the street? Yeah, that's the equivalent of 8 flights of stairs. Looks like all you New Yorkers don't have to feel as guilty when you skip cardio at the gym, huh? But this is just one example of the exercise we are naturally getting throughout our day and don't even realize it. This sort of subconscious exercise is known as non-exercise activity thermogenesis, also known as NEAT for short. This refers to all the walking, typing, picking up boxes, stacking things on shelves, carrying briefcases, and just about anything that you can think of that you do during your day that burns calories. The higher your NEAT, the more you are active, and in theory, the better you'll feel. See, exercise is really good for you. Yes, it can be a pain to set aside 30 minutes to an hour a day to get all sweaty and sore, but the health benefits are astronomical and undeniable. Exercise is proven to give you energy, improve your mental well-being, help you sleep better, be more relaxed, and even help with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and more. In fact, author John Rady wrote a book called Spark, where he details an experiment done at Naperville High School. One group of students were asked to partake in a morning gym class, while another group of students were allowed to sleep in. The study found that as the weeks went on, the students that exercised found higher levels of energy and higher test scores. This active group had a 17% increase in reading and comprehension compared to the sleepy group, who had a 10.7% increase. The study showed, in essence, that exercise works not only your body, but your brain. I mean, the list of benefits just goes on and on and on. And if you're sitting, well, you aren't exercising, and there can be some pretty dire consequences. Which brings us to the first reason you should keep a close eye on how much you're sitting, Brainerd, especially now that you're working from home. Inevitably, your body's NEAT levels will drop due to being indoors. This means that the first symptoms you would feel are weight gain, feelings of anxiety, and even trouble sleeping. Sitting and sitting and sitting just ain't good for you. But it doesn't stop there. In the scheme of things, these are rather mild symptoms compared to what happens if you keep sitting all day, every day. Let's break it down further. Continuously being sedentary in front of a screen is absolutely terrible for your lower body and back. No surprise here, right? The more you sit, the more your hip flexor muscles will start to shorten. And when that happens, it will directly lead to problems with your hip joints. Poor posture is another thing to watch out for, as it's very easy to slouch in front of a screen, especially if you don't have a chair designed to help you keep that back straight. The slouching can cause compressions in the discs of your back, which in turn can lead to premature degeneration. It's serious stuff, and this is just the beginning. If you aren't scared by the idea of becoming a slouch, there's a few other physical side effects of plopping down all day that you should definitely be aware of. DVT, or deep vein thrombosis, is when tiny blood clots occur in your legs. Symptoms can include redness, swelling, and general pain in the area, but you also may display no symptoms. What's particularly important to note about DVT is that it can become quite serious quite quickly if the clot breaks free from your legs and gets lodged in your lung. When this happens, it's called a pulmonary embolism. Studies also link an increased chance of developing lung, uterine, and colon cancers to an extremely sedentary lifestyle. This statistic is particularly troublesome because doctors don't actually know why it is. They just know that it happens. And now you do too, Brainiac. Diabetes is another thing to watch out for if you are continuously sitting, and it can happen quicker than you might think. In as soon as 5 days after not moving, exercising, and just being a slouch at home, your blood sugars will increase to a level that isn't healthy. This is called insulin resistance, and studies have shown that frequent sitters have a 112% increased risk of diabetes. But it doesn't stop there. Heart disease is probably the biggest reason to remember to stand up, get outside, and walk around throughout your day. Researchers have found that men who spend 5 or more hours of their day sitting have a 34% increased chance of having heart failure in their lives compared to men who sat less than 2 hours outside of their normal work lives. Another study showed that women who sat more than 10 hours a day were at a much higher risk of stroke, heart disease, or heart attack when compared to women who only sat 5 hours a day. Oh, and here's the real kicker. Sitting too much can be a particularly tricky thing to keep an eye on, because you can be quite active at the gym for a few hours, and thus you may feel like you're living an active, healthy lifestyle. But if you're sitting 8 hours a day, well, compare that with your 1 hour at the gym, you, my friend, are still putting your body at quite a bit of risk. This phenomenon is called an active couch potato. You may be putting in the reps at the gym, but if you're sedentary all day, you're still at risk. Other statistics to keep in mind if you fall into this active couch potato group is that you have an increased 50% chance of death by any cause and about a 125% increased risk of any type of cardiovascular disease. You gotta get up and walk around, Brainiac. Sitting that much really is that bad for you. But everything is not doom and gloom. Look, yes, sometimes by the very nature of your job, you'll just be sitting. A lot. It's unavoidable. Or is it? Countering all this sitting can be as simple as incorporating movement into your daily life. Biking or walking to work is a great way to start your day with a lot of activity. But if you take the bus, getting off one stop early and then walking the rest of the way will get a few more steps in for you. Especially if you're about to sit at your job all day. At work, simply using your lunch break as a chance to get out and stretch your legs. Organizing meetings as a walk and talk instead of sitting down in a conference room, or walking over to colleagues to ask them a question instead of just emailing them are all small ways to up your NEAT and keep you active. In fact, even just a quick stroll around your workspace can offset all the dangers of being too stationary. It's recommended that setting a timer every 30 minutes to get up and just move, even just for a little bit, can help immensely in keeping you healthy. But how about this working from home thing? How can we stay active here? Luckily, we live in the age of the internet, and there are a ton of free classes you can take, from yoga to home aerobics to stationary biking to dancing to all of it, all online. Take care of yourself, and if anything, Just stand up every once in a while. If you are about to watch your favorite TV show, watch it standing. Folding laundry? Stand up to do it. Just get off that tuchus, Brainerd, and you'll be fine. So, that's the truth of sitting too much. It's a dangerous, life-shortening routine to be in, but simply setting reminders to get up, get out, and also get active are your best line of defense, especially if you're working from home. Don't let the lazies set in. Keep up that active lifestyle, and you'll be much healthier and happier because of it.